This is Artifacts of Mars. And I wanted to talk about the invasion from the south. But I also wanted to put this in context. I'm going to provide a link which has nothing to do with the invasion, but it'll show what I'm talking about as far as they're thinking that we're all part of one North American Union. I can actually provide a couple links if you want. Anyway, just one. The other one won't work. It's a technical reason. Here's the thing. Let's start putting all this stuff all together. Stuff that the conspiracy theorists, so-called conspiracy theorists, have been talking about in the last couple of years. Actually, about the last 20 years. North American Union, Amero, FEMA camps, Obama dictatorship, false flag, 9/11, all this. Let's start putting all that stuff together. A lot of people think that 9/11 was false flag. So, as do I. I think it was allowed to happen. And, people have been talking about this North American Union and how Mexico, Canada, and the United States are going to be joined at the hip and become one big trading bloc and one big country. Right? Well, conspiracy theorists have also been saying that they want to put us into FEMA camps so they can have a slave state here. Well, what do you see happening? They're bringing in these foreigners from these different countries and flooding this country with them. The collapse is inevitable unless this is stopped and reversed, because we don't have the resources. Not even the United States has the resources to deal with this type of thing. Mark my words, we don't. We don't have the resources to deal with them, and our system will collapse. At which point in time, riots will start happening, and the air will become polluted very heavily with lead and the smell of burning sulfur, etc. Alright, so what do I think is happening here? Well, they're moving all these illegals into the major cities, the gang members. Most of the so-called children are actually 14 years and older and male, which means they're possibly dangerous because many of them have gang tattoos and all this. They're members of gangs, basically. Many to most of them. Alright? So they're moving them in major cities. They even want to move them in around this area. They want to move them into Greece. Now, let's look at what the corrupt Eric Holder did, who should be spending the rest of his life in a prison cell instead of being an attorney general. Eric Holder went and sent a bunch of guns down to Mexico for Fast and Furious, and they got a bunch of our citizens killed. And he has not been put behind bars for this. Neither is Obama, and they both of them belong behind bars, in my opinion. So he puts guns in their hands. Let's put this together then. You have these illegals in major cities. Say We have all these government agencies that have been buying guns and ammo. And we have a government that's more than happy to put guns in the hands of bad guys. Duh! So let me give you a little scenario here. They arm these MS-13 gang members and whoever they are, let them loose on the street and say, have your fun, nothing will happen to you. So they go and terrorize a few cities, terrorize about 40, 50 cities one day. You wake up and they're all over the place, but it gets worse from there. So in my hypothetical situation, we have, say we wake up with 50 major cities burning because these illegals have had guns put in their hands by Eric Holder. It gets worse. You turn on the news, and instead of saying it's MS-13 gang members have been armed by the government, the news media obediently says what they're told to say, which they always do. And of course the government tells them it's right-wing white fanatics and right-wing white Christians. Boom. Off to the FEMA camps with you. Duh! Off to the FEMA camps with a whole lot of you. And you black folks are not exempt from this. You'll be going too. And by the time they get done with that, they take our homes, they put these illegals in them, and they have their little slave state. That's right. These people want a nation full of slaves and sheep to be governed. They don't want to deal with us. They don't think of us as citizens. Republicans too. I have no more use for them than I do for Obama. Republicans are a bunch of slime. Just slime. Alright? So, there you have the basic scenario that I'm thinking of. They, have all these MS-13 gang members. They terrorize cities. Us white people and black folks, and, Chinese, what have you. People have been here all their lives. They've worked hard. We get put in FEMA camps. Then they move on to Canada. Right? And they say, well, gee, we have so many of these people in these countries, we may as well become a half Hispanic, half English country, all three of us, and boom, you have your North American Union. Canada, Mexico, America becomes the North American Union. Maybe a few of those tin horn dictatorships down south as well become part of the North American Union. Currency becomes a marrow after the dollar collapses. And, we're put in FEMA camps and unjustly accused of causing trouble. Well, gee whiz. All this stuff is starting to come together, folks. Everything conspiracy theorists have been saying. North American Union. FEMA camps. Obama dictatorship. It's all coming to fruition right before our eyes. This is why it has to be stopped. I'm watching my language on this one, but man, I would love to cut loose on these persons. And take a look at the link. It's actually a story about an exorcism down in Mexico, but the problem is that the article identifies these Mexicans as Americans. And these are Mexicans down in Mexico. They're not illegals or anything like that. These are Mexicans who live down in Mexico. And they call them Americans. I had just about lost control. Somebody on chat group said, yeah, they're Americans because they live on North American continent. Oh, really? Do they include everybody down in South America too? Are they Americans? Screw that. Americans live in the United States of America. I'm Artifacts of Mars. It's all coming together, people. In case you hadn't noticed. North American Union is coming. The Amero's coming after dollars crashed. And the FEMA camps are coming. I'm Artifacts of Mars. We've got to stop it some way. Thanks for watching.